Good evening, guys. It's a 4:58 p.m. Today is November 30th, month and day, and today we had a huge, big rally, up rally, right? And that is what happens on month end, So because price goes usually from one end to another end on month end, or opposite is it just stays within a tight range. Two of the scenarios we discussed today in the morning, right? Either it's a chop or 300-400 point move in NQ, right? ES is 180 to 100 point move. That is what we discussed. If the move has to happen, right? Which happened later on due to Mr. Powell's speech, right? And because of that, now the charts are screwed up in a way, So now tomorrow will be difficult to trade, But I think no choice but favor longs tomorrow, So this areas, NQ may lead others today, which was the case. NQ was leading them, but in a choppy side in the morning. ES tried to go down, but NQ was chopping around, right? So we didn't trade in the morning pretty much entire morning, and then I gave up, and I went outside. Later, after Powell's speech, the picture was changed. It was trending, and that's where you should be going long after that, once you see the move. But anyway, so as long as NQ is below yesterday's high, which was around 640 and 595, continue favor sellers below that area, and NQ pretty much held below those areas, so favor sellers. But the moment after Powell's speech it went higher, we should be favoring buyers or become neutral. That means we also favor buyers, right? And I have seen days like month end where price just moves, and these are the key points. ES follow the chart notes and then line up with NQ. So if ES was going down in the morning, sellers were everywhere in ES, but NQ was not going down. So I did not take any trade in ES to the short side, neither in NQ side. I was waiting, but damn thing was not moving in NQ. And then I gave up and I went outside, and then finally it moved. So yes, I got one or two trades in the later in the day, like going with the flow, some random location, but that was not the real trading, because I really came after like 2 o'clock or so, to just check, and then that's where I got some points here and there. But anyway, it was from level, not a random place. See, Dow tried to poke below this area 2-3 times, but then it couldn't went below it. See, that was the key. So when price went there 3-4 times and it couldn't break below, it break below by a few points, like 20 some points, but then it couldn't hold it below, keep bouncing. And then Russell was also the same case in the morning, right? And ES was the only one who was going down. And then finally when ES reached support, that 40 area, Dow ran to this area. That's where they tried to hesitate to go down. They did not, and then finally reversal happens from these areas, and then price went higher, right? So, and then we had this huge up rally, right? Totally buying 100%, and all the sellers were just literally crushed today, pretty much. And price went from one end to the other end. There was a balancing going on in daily time frame, last 10 to 15 days of balance, and price went from bottom of the balance to the top of the balance, in a straight line pretty much. So now tomorrow is important. Today is, whatever happened, but tomorrow is the key. So in the morning, so these are the areas, right? So you can see it here. This is the inflection point. This one was a preferred buyers area, right? Which pretty much ES held it. I was expecting that ES will break below it. By looking at this morning price action, ES was holding. I was thinking it will break down, right? But at the same time, NQ was not breaking down. While ES continued to go down, NQ refused to go down below even this 525 pink line. See, if I zoom in, you will see it. This pink line, right? See, multiple rejection there, right? So NQ was not going down, but at the same time, it was holding below this 595 to 640, this area pretty much, right? So, and that's what I said, below this area favor sellers, correct? So like this, right? And ES was already down, right? So morning is a seller's favor, but then sellers were not doing anything. They were not like heavy because price was keep poking above from this pink line, right? Here multiple fail attempts, right? Here also multiple fail breakout attempts. So NQ was not doing anything. We were waiting for it to break out, break down, but damn thing was not doing anything, right? So that's why I didn't take any trade in ES, the short side, just because of NQ. Because if NQ bounce it from here, ES will not go down, right? So and then and then finally here it again tried to break down. See here at this point I was almost ready to short, but then I said, what, multiple fail breakdown attempts, this damn thing is, AD was still around like minus 14 or so. So I said it's not that weak. So I said wait, let it go down further and take out this area, and if really there is a month end move coming, then NQ can go all the way to 11,300 or 200. Then I have many points to cover, right? So why bother here testing it out, right, whether it's what's gonna work or not? Rather wait for this area to be cleared out, right? It's a hunting level area. So I did not trade it, and then that's where I left actually. So actually I came here during the lunchtime, and then I checked this, but I didn't trade it. Then I went outside and I came back, I think after 2 o'clock or so, which is after this move, around maybe around here or so, right here. So then I waited for this hunting level to be taken out, right? And then it took out. That's where I went long here and target here, and then again went long here and then target here, like 2-3 trades I did it here. So but at the same time ES I did not bother to trade because NQ is the one who was the leader, right? So I just did NQ. So but here there was a one trade here. See, after this chop around, if you are still watching it, this exchange area is very important, so does this 60 area, so does this 40 area, right? So now price couldn't go below 40. That's our number one side, right? Then Powell started talking, and then immediately during the Powell speech you can see this jump back up above this area, right, which it was holding since overnight, right? That news, whatever happened, ADP news. So they took out this area here. See that? First time failed attempt, second time it took out, right? It's a 5-minute candle. You can see it how large is the candle, right? At the same time NQ took out this 595 area and 640 both. See, this is the sign now that buyers are coming in, right? But then it's a news driven, Powell is talking, so it may reverse too. So we have to wait. When it came down here, it held this 595 to the T, right? Then it bounced back up, correct? And ES also, look at ES, around what time? 1335. ES was here actually. See, 1335 ES went higher, NQ actually went up before that, right? And then it pulled back here. You are watching these things. 595 held, then it took out this high again. So this was the sign. Now buyers are in, locked in, So this was around what time? 1340, which ES was right around here. See that? So ES also now went higher, another candle. So at this time, now you are praying that please pull back, because now going along here, it's like you are going long all the way up here, right? It's not a good sign. It's a news driven stuff, right? So you wait for a pullback, and you got lucky here. See, it pulled back here, exchange area to the top, same area, this high balance, right? At the same time NQ, remember I said above this pink blue line, above 11,800 or so, right? So now if you go long here, you have that much potential to grab. Now obviously you're not going to hold that much, but at least you have that much visibility that NQ can go up to 800, this area, right? So when, and it's a news driven, Powell is speaking, so market can move, right? It's a month end. That's where you go long here, or once this area is taken out, you go long there too, at that time, because now it's a step up pattern, up, down, up, down, up. See that? So those were the longs. That's it, nothing else before. Yes, you can use this area to short and all this thing, but really I said, line up with NQ. It was not lining up with NQ. So, and NQ was the leader today, right? As I said, so NQ may lead. So this is the leader, right? That's what they do. And then boom, look at this move now, right? At this point, most likely ES is going to hit 4,050, so which is this area. And then, later on it just went higher and higher and higher, right? So now tomorrow, pretty much, overnight, now whoever went long, pretty much they are holding it today, I think so. So 4050, this area, it's important. Now tomorrow you want ES buyers to hold above 4050, NQ buyers you want to hold above this 900 area, in the overnight, around this area, backup sellers area, basically above this area. And that be all for today.